I'm Tom Snow. I'm Chair of the Snow Medical Research Foundation and Chair of Canberra Airport. I came to philanthropy through an unusual route. I was working in a corporate and loving it. I had my own funds management business, very successful with my business partner. But what I realised was that there was this potential of a national vote on marriage equality. Philanthropy was crucial to that campaign. In reality, we would not have achieved marriage equality without philanthropy. And the reason is because philanthropy came in early, and philanthropy came in to care for people, to care for our community. And I saw amazing philanthropists across Australia come in early in that campaign to prepare and advocate for those people who are most marginalised in our society. What I realised then was that I wanted to be part of that, and I wanted to be part of amazing change in Australia. We have what's called the Snow Fellowship. It's the most prestigious medical research fellowship in Australia. It's $8 million over 8 years for the fellow and their team. It's an incredible opportunity. One great example where we saw a really initial bad outcome and was fixed by a gender lens was when we appointed our Snow Fellows. So we went out for our first round with our partner institutions, so universities and medical research institutes. We talked to them about the importance of gender equality through that process. And we came back with the nominations, and out of over 100 nominations, there were only a handful of women. It was very clear that we weren't getting the best people being put forward, because if you don't have roughly 50-50 women and rough representation of other groups, you clearly don't have the best nominations. And so we sent it back. I just said, let's just start again. Set us back 6 months. The second time we got the nominations through, it was roughly 50-50. There were amazing women and amazing men. And as it went through that process, what happened was, we ended up with roughly 50-50 every time that we've since had the Snow Fellowship rounds. And very proud to say today that we've had some more men some years and some more women in other years. As of today, we have exactly 50-50 women and men representation as Snow Fellows. And they're a great group of people, reflective of our society and reflective of the best minds in this country. We made a crucial funding decision to exclude the University of Melbourne for a period of time because of something that we saw that wasn't right. It came up on social media to start with. I saw a photo of the honorary doctorates at the University of Melbourne, and there were 6 honorary doctorates, and they were all white men. And I remember thinking at the time, I thought we addressed this 20 years ago when I was at university, but we clearly haven't, and clearly that culture is not there. So we wrote to the university, we wrote a very nice please explain letter and outlined it. We did a lot of research, and it's clear that they actually hadn't appointed any women the previous year. And so we said, well, if they're not serious about our values, we're not going to engage them as a partner. So we kept the existing fellows, obviously the existing commitment we had to people, but we said for a period of time until they address this, we're not including them as a partner. We made a statement, very powerful statement. What I didn't realise is just how wide that would go. I was shocked. That went across the whole university sector, and people said, look at what happens if you don't actually do if we don't practice what we preach, this is what happens. And so what we've seen actually is across the whole sector, a review. So we're actually actively trying to help work out how they can improve. The good news with the University of Melbourne, of course, is they did change their processes. They have led to an outstanding set of honorary doctorates. And it's really encouraging to see the cultural change that's happened there. Something we're very proud of. We think of equality as something that's progressive and that will continue to go forwards, but actually can go backwards and it can stall. And what we've seen in Australia is LGBTIQ equality going forward. We've seen ethnic equality going forward. We've seen other forms of equality going forward. But actually women's equality, in many cases it's stalled. And what's scary is in some demographics, it's actually going backwards. And particularly amongst young men, there is a great risk that we can go backwards, and without the work of many people who are great and without the work of philanthropy, I think one of the biggest opportunities that we see going forward is better engagement of men. Too often we see amazing women progressing this issue, and what I would love to see is many more men getting engaged and realising it's better for everyone if we treat everyone fairly and decently.